Alright, I've got 11 minutes to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia. So here we go. The last book notwithstanding, I did enjoy reading the Chronicles of Narnia. This was my first time reading the entirety of the series. I think I'd had Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe read to me, but I hadn't actually read it myself. I enjoy reading some of these older children's books. I did a review of A Little Princess a little while back, and that's kind of along the same lines. What I kind of like about these children's books, and what I liked about the Chronicles of Narnia, is the writing style. All of the books are written in such a way that it sounds like someone is actually orally telling you the story. Anytime you read, you hear an inner narrator reading the words to you. Oftentimes you're not aware of it, but I like the stories where you are aware of it, where the narrator has a definitive voice. So sometimes the narrator of these stories will break off into a small tangent, or will use an aspect of everyday life to describe something, or we'll take a break in the story and say, now before I tell you this part of the story, I have to explain something. You feel like you're a bunch of little kids sitting around Grandpa, and Grandpa's telling you this amazing story about this magical land. And I do like most of the themes that are presented. Obviously the books stand as religious allegory, but with only a few exceptions, most of the time this isn't obvious. I mean, if you're looking for it, you can obviously tell that Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the story of Jesus, his crucifixion, his resurrection, blah blah blah. But if you're not looking for that, then it's kind of a universal story of sacrifice. It's used in a lot of stories. It's not unique to Christianity, and so you can see it in that way. And that's why I like the earlier novels in the Chronicles of Narnia and not so much the later ones. The later into the series you go, the more the symbolism and the allegory becomes very overt, very obviously Christian, as opposed to just kind of these universal themes. And the universal themes and the universal symbolism, these things are much more meaningful to me than the symbolism that is obviously exclusively for the Christian club. And what he does in the last novel that I really don't like, and I'm going to spoil for you, but whatever. What he does in the last novel that I really don't like is he makes the whole thing real. He basically tells us, oh, surprise, it wasn't just a fun story, it was real. And unfortunately, the reality is pretty much an exclusively Christian version of reality. And so it cuts off a whole group of readers. And I think that stories, mythical, fictional stories, are much more meaningful than just portraying reality. That's why we read stories, so we can pick up on those themes and see them in our own everyday life. I liked The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of Dawn Treader, and Silver Chair. I wasn't altogether crazy about Horse and His Boy and The Magician's Nephew, and I really didn't like Last Battle at all. So I would most definitely recommend the earlier books, the earlier published books in the series. So there you have it, you get 2 reviews for the price of 1, and I'll be seeing you next time.